Hey guys, today I'm doing a review on an extremely inexpensive cell phone plan called Ting. Now, I haven't just tried this out. I've actually been a customer since 2017 and now it's 2020. So I've actually been with them a long time. I've used their customer service, gotten multiple SIM cards, changed phones. So I'm gonna tell you the pros, how this cell phone company is cheaper, why it's better, and why you should look at this for an option if you guys are trying to save money. I'm a college student and this really helps me save a lot of money on my cell phone bill. Now, right off the bat, I'm gonna show you my bills so you actually know multiple times I've had cell phone bills less than $16, like $15 and 20 some cents after taxes. That's the full bill for an entire month. That's data, texting, and calling. And also, before I start telling you more in depth about the whole company and my real life experience, like the pros and the cons, there is a link below that you guys can go check out. If you want to sign up for Ting, you guys will get $25 credit for Ting. Basically, you can get an entire month free with them and there's no cancellation fee, there's no back out charge, there's no starting fee. So you guys can literally try Ting completely risk-free. Go on there, go to the link below, you guys will get $25. If you don't like it, just cancel the plan and you're done. But now I'm gonna tell you about the company. First, they have both GSM and a CDMA carrier. If you guys don't know what that means, it's basically just two different type of carriers. If you have an unlocked iPhone, it's GSM and CDMA. But essentially what that means is they use AT&T and Sprint. You can either get AT&T or you can get Sprint, which is GSM, or CDMA respectively. Now, the good thing about this is they're not just some new startup that's trying to build their network. Like, they're already massive companies, the biggest in the United States, and you can just take their network. So it works pretty much everywhere. Wherever the Sprint network goes to, you can use Ting in that, and wherever the AT&T network goes, you can use Ting in that same thing. Now, the way that Ting is really inexpensive is it works in tiers, right? So, for example, this is how the pricing works. You first have a number, and that costs $6 a month. That's it, just $6. Now, the first tier with data is 0 to 100 megabytes, which is pretty small, but that costs $3. Then the next tier is 101 to 500 megabytes, and that costs $10 or an additional $7, but it's $10 in total for that. And so on and so on, but it's very cheap. For instance, if you want up to 2 gigabytes of data, it's $20. So if you only use data, you just use 2 gigabytes of data, then your cell phone bill would be $26. And texting is extremely cheap. You can send up to 4,800 texts a month for one of the highest tiers at $11. It's only $11 to send 4,800 texts. And I don't know a single person that texts more than 4,800 texts. For calling, it's also not that expensive. The first tier is 1 to 100 minutes, and that's $3. And I personally have never gone over that. I've never called anyone more than 100 minutes in a month. But if you guys do that, the next tier after that is 101 to 500 minutes, and that's $9. So it's so much more inexpensive than a normal plan if you're not going to use everything like all the time. Now, I'm in college. I do hop on a Wi-Fi connection when I can just to save me some money. But most of the time, even now, I don't really have to look at it because it just doesn't get that expensive. For instance, on Ting, let's say you use a ton of data, you text 1,000 times in a month, and you call 100 minutes because, it's 2020, who really calls people that much anymore? But if you do that, your cell phone bill will still only be $34. And that's basically putting an emphasis on a lot of data. Let's say you call people 500 minutes a month, which is a lot. That's over 8 hours. You send 4,800 texts and you use 2 gigabytes of data, which I personally have never used, and I'm on Snapchat all the time. Your cell phone bill would still only be $46. But I think a more normal for, especially if you're in college, let's say you don't call people, let's say you only do 1 minute to 100 minutes, that tier, it would be $40 then. With 2 gigabytes of data, 4,800 texts. And if you're like me, I don't really text that much. Let's say you only send 1 to 100 texts and you use 2 gigabytes of data and 100 minutes, that's still $32. That's barely anything for a cell phone bill. So it's really nice because it's extremely nice because if you differ a lot, like I usually change a lot. Some months I'll use it a lot more than others. Like in finals week, I barely used it at all because I was always on an internet connect. And my cell phone bill for that month was $15. So instead of paying for something that you're not actually gonna use, it pays by tiers. So the more you use, the more you pay, the less you use, the less you pay. Now, my personal average bill, this is my personal average bill after taxes, after everything, is $26.35. That's the total cost. That's my average cell phone bill a month. That's calling, texting, and data. Now, another really awesome feature of Ting is if you have multiple accounts, you have multiple lines on that one account, the tiers don't just build separately, they actually build cohesively and together. So let's say you have 2 people on the same phone line, and let's say your name's John, and then you have Michelle. So you're John, you send 30 texts, and Michelle sends 20 texts. Now, if you guys were on a separate plan, you'd both have to pay $3 for that first tier. But since you guys are on the same account, since your texts together only got to 50, because you sent 20 and she sent 30, you only have 50 texts, which means you're still in that 1 to 100 tier range, then you only pay $3, which in that case cut it completely in half. So that's a big way that you can save a ton of money on Ting. If you have like a family plan, you can still have a family plan and still save a lot of money. Now, some more really amazing fees is there's no lock-in, there's no contract, and there's no plan. There is no cancellation fee. You can cancel whenever you want. They're not scammy in how they try to lock you in. There's a bunch of other cell phone companies, like really cheap cell phone companies, and they lock you in so that you're like paying for like 4 months and you can't get out of it. This is not like this. You can literally end it whenever you want. There's no fees. You have the cell phone bill like they told you, and there's a little bit of taxes because they have to. Every cell phone company has to, but it's not expensive. And that's what you get. That's what you're paying, and that's it. Now, guys, to remind you again, there's a link below, and if you click that and sign up, you will get $25 credit, which means you can just try the first month completely free. Now, Ting is not sponsoring me. They're not promoting me. I've actually been a legitimate company since 2017, and you can see that in my bill that will be here on the screen. Why not just try it? If you don't like Ting after the first month, you can just cancel it, and you didn't lose any money at all. But you did just gain a complete free month of cell phone service. Now, another really amazing thing about Ting is they have insanely good customer service that is really quick to call. So you can either call them or you can do a live chat. I've done both, and it's really great. They get to you really fast. They're extremely nice and helpful, and they're all about the customer. I got a new phone a while ago, and I ordered a new SIM card for that phone, and I actually, like, it was completely my fault. I purchased the wrong SIM card because I didn't really look it up before. I just purchased the SIM card, and so I went online to the online chat and talked to one of the people at Ting. They were extremely helpful. They said, hey, you got the wrong SIM card, but we're sending you one right now, and we're giving you a $25 credit for your inconvenience, which was my mistake, but they still gave me a $25 credit. So I got a free month that month, and I got my correct SIM card within like 2 days. So not only is it incredibly reliable because it's on the Sprint and AT&T network, it works in tiers. So if you use it more, it costs more. And if you use it less, it costs less. As well, if you have multiple people on your accounts, the tiers build together. And they have some of the best customer service that I have ever talk to, regardless of just a phone company. I mean, customer service in general. I highly recommend this. Guys, if you want to try your first month free, there's a $25 credit if you go sign up below. So I hope this helped you out, and I hope you're happy with Ting. See you later, guys.